Hi, race fans. Welcome back to Rauscher Racing Weekly, where we just got back this morning, about 4:30, from points race number 5 at Cycleland Speedway, where all the boys, I felt, ran really good.
Yep.
Brent got to debut his new wrap,
Yeah.
with his sponsors on there, and the night went, all in all, pretty well. I thought we had a little bit of rain at the track, which made the track bad fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hooked up. So.
Yep. Brent's new color scheme with his new sponsors and everything, I think, came out pretty good.
Yeah, it looked good. I liked it. It's the first time I've seen it, so I liked it.
The color change really messed with people. People in the scoring tower didn't know who he was until he rolled across the transponder loop.
Right. Well, hell, he's had the black and green paint scheme, I think, for ever since he started racing. I think it's been black and green.
Yep.
So, yeah, it looked good. I liked it. It looked good on the track.
I was happy with it. So, but I don't even know where he qualified. I think it was 10th out of 19 cars, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then Blake and Evan, they looked good in hot laps.
Yeah, they were both, I believe, inside the top 10 in hot laps in practice. They were holding their own. They were looking good. And then, like always, the track, gets a little bit stickier, and we lose out a little bit of time to the bigger engine guys. But I think Blake qualified 10th or 12th, and Evan, I think, was 18th. But that's a big comeback from Evan, because the last few weeks, if there were 36 cars, we were like 35th.
Yeah.
If there was, 26 cars, we were 25th. It's just, that's the way Evan's been. But we had some engine work done by Jim Zimmerman at Straight Up Performance, and it woke his car back up again, thank goodness, because he was needing it. So
it sounded good. And he ran good. You could see he had a little bit more confidence in his step getting in the car, and
right.
It was good to see that again.
Yeah, it was good to see the speed back in the car. Now that we got speed, we can adjust the car and make it so it'll handle. He hasn't had the speed all year at Cycleland, so even after we put the fresh piston in it and whatnot. So
yeah.
So, but what we found why his car wouldn't run is, for some reason, when we put the new piston in there, it egg-shaped the cylinder. So we sent it to Zimmerman. We were going to have a new sleeve put in it and go back to, right about stock size or whatever, but he couldn't get the sleeve that we needed in time, so he worked his magic. They were able to hot hone the cylinder, get it back round and make it right, and then shipped it back to us with a new piston. We put that thing in, and he put heat cycles on it yesterday at the track before he even went out. So it was a rush. I didn't get it put back together, I think, until Thursday night. So,
but it was good to see him be confident in himself. He works pretty hard at trying to perform well.
Right.
I think all three of them do. Right.
And then Blake and Evan, because they're in the same class, Evan really gauges himself off of Blake.
Yeah.
He wasn't really happy with his heat race, starting right behind Blake, and Blake kind of just ran off. Him and Ryan Foster just ran away from the field ultimately. But, Ryan Foster is one of the ones, he's really good. He's one of the best in the nation at running these things. And for Blake to run second to him and be on the same straightaway with him on a track as hooked up as it was, I was impressed.
That's almost a win.
So, yeah, exactly. In a lot of books, for sure. But just for Blake to have the speed he had last night was good. Blake hasn't been that fast ever, I don't think. His car handled, and he was just, they had that one red flag where you went to see if Evan needed anything. I went to Blake, and he goes, "Holy shit, Dad. I'm competitive. I can run with these guys today." I'm like, "Yeah, you're holding your own. You're right there."
Yeah, he looked good.
So, and then a few laps later, I think he was making a bid. He was up there with John Michael Bunch making a bid for the 5th or 6th position, and got a little help and got dumped. But ultimately, he had to go to the back and ran back up to, I think he got 8th or 9th, Blake did. So,
and it was good to see Evan in an A.
Right, yeah, that's Evan's first A main appearance this year. So
it had some brake struggles. Under that red, he wanted a little air out of the right rear, and he had me check his brake rotor. The rear brake rotor was smoking hot.
Yeah, something's dragging or something's not happy back there. So ultimately, he ended up with brake fade. And when you panic push the brakes on these things, being it has just the one caliper and rotor on it, when you lock them up, you spin out. Unfortunately, he did it twice.
Yeah.
And that ended his night. So he ultimately got DNF, but I think he wasn't too much further back behind Blake. I think he ended up in, between 12th and 15th, I think. A lot of cars fell out, wrecking and braking early. So
parts failures. So
right.
Yeah, he was complaining. He goes, I'm pushing on the brake. There's nothing. And then all of a sudden, bam! It's all there. So
Right. Yeah. And as a driver, you gotta that's a little nerve wracking. Evan totaled a chassis last year because he ran without brakes.
Yep.
And so.
And Brent knows that feeling. He ran because the keyway came out of his, so he'd step on the brake, the rotor would stop, but the axle wouldn't.
Right.
So he ran with the left front brake.
Right.
And he was getting the brake fade, putting all that heat into that one little tiny brake rotor.
Right.
So
Yeah. So this week we'll throw some more brake parts at him and change the fluid and whatnot and see if we can make him better for next week. So.
And then Brent's night, he ran second in the heat race.
Mm-hmm.
And him and the leader, they were gone. There was nobody going to catch him.
Yeah, they look good.
And then the main, he had a great starting spot. He started inside row 2, and on the second lap got ran over.
Yeah, flat got ran over. You'll see in the video.
Got stuck
The other
wall.
kid used him as a brake, or as the braking point, and just didn't lift until he made contact.
And then still didn't lift until they were both in the wall.
Right.
And it took them a good 3-4 minutes to get them apart.
Yeah. The kid's right front was locked between Brent's, what you have for a door bar on the left side and the Nerf bar. It was locked in there. They actually had to pull Brent's roll cage over to the side to give him a little bit of room so they could pull it out. So
And he said they were pushing on a seat and pulling on a seat.
yeah, they were doing everything they could.
And when he came in, he goes, "Dad, I put my arm down and I put it on her tire. It's a really weird feeling getting hit by a tire at full speed."
Yeah, it was up on a seat. It was right there.
So he had to go to the back, and he just wasn't aggressive enough to make some of the passes he needed to. So we're gonna work on that after next weekend's race. We're gonna stay the night at the track, and we're gonna put some laps in on Sunday. We're gonna burn a set of tires and couple tanks of fuel and see what we can get. Get them more comfortable. And
yeah, exactly. I wish we could practice on the track when it was like how it is last night.
Yeah.
So for a dirt track, you can take all the water you want out of a well or out of the ground and put it on the track. It is not the same as when you get rain. The rain is so pure, the moisture and the way that it affects the dirt it's insane. It's just it makes it so fast. So there's so much grip in there.
And you could put whatever you wanted to in the water. Some tracks use soap or other stuff, and it's just rainwater is the best for a dirt track.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of dirt, clay, whatever you run on. Rain is.
I mean,
you can't say anything more about it. It's the best thing you can put on a track.
Even when we raced in Fernley, they would water, and by the time we'd got from Maine, it was like trying to look through the wall.
Yep.
It was so dusty at some points. You get a good rain shower in the track, there was no dust all night long. It was great.
And it didn't downpour. It just it was a heavy sprinkle, really, for about, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's all it took, man. That track came alive. It was nice. It was fun to watch. Everybody was hammered down. So
let's check out the boys and their videos.
All right.
Welcome back, race fans. We're here at Cycling Speedway for points race number 5, I believe. We've had 2 weeks off. Haven't been able to work on the car much. I've been busy with baseball and a bunch of other stuff. School's crazy because of Corona. We're trying to fit in a bunch of stuff at the end of the season. And FedEx didn't get our parts here in time, so we get to the racetrack. We're trying to do everything because we didn't have time to do nothing at home the past couple days because FedEx had our stuff really delayed. But yeah, so hopefully we can get my new motor mount on and a bunch of other stuff. We'll go out there and get ready for the night. And now we're gonna shoot off to Evan.
Hey guys, I'm Brent Rauscher, driver of the 07, and the last thing that you guys heard from me was we didn't know if I was going to be able to race this weekend because my engine, we didn't know if we were going to get all the parts back for it, but we ended up getting all the parts back. It's not how it should have been done, but we did what we could, and the engine builder from Straight Performance says that it will run just fine. So hopefully tonight we actually have a really fast car and we can have a good setup. And tonight, hopefully, one of my goals is not to qualify almost last, because I'm pretty sure that's where I've qualified all year, because my car's just been running really bad. But besides that, I'm really stoked about tonight, so hopefully everything goes well. And up next is Brent.
I believe that, yeah, Luke Dean in the 9 from Dunedin. guys, I'm Brent Rauscher, driver of the 16250. We are here at Points Race 5, had a couple weeks off, see if we can have another consistent night. Next up, we'll be qualifying.
Wherever the world may take you, choose Christensen Automotive.
Welcome back from commercial break. I'm Blake Rauscher, driver number 3R. Last time you heard from me, we were putting a car together when we got to the racetrack. It was very stressful. We hadn't had time to work on the car all week because I was busy with school and sports and a bunch of stuff. So we get there, got to work on the car, got everything pretty good. We have a new wing my aunt and uncle gave me, and we put new wing rails on it, and they wouldn't work, so the wing wouldn't slide. So it was in one spot all night, and it was a little stiff. It wouldn't didn't like to move at all. So I thought that was gonna be like a factor in the car, like with the top moving, but it didn't. It seemed to work pretty good actually, because my old wing is really heavy, but the new one's really, really light, and I think it helped us a lot. I feel like I had really good speed last night. So start off the night for practice. I went 7th quick out of 26 cars, I believe there was, which is not bad. That's pretty good. I think I went an 11 something, 11.5-ish, somewhere in there for practice, I think, something like that. And then for qualifying, I went 12th quick, went an 11.122, I believe, which is pretty good. That's usually like sometimes during a points race that could be like the fastest time, depending on what the track's doing. But if I was 12th quick with that, like top guys had to be in the 10s, so I didn't get to see. But so that put me front row outside of my heat race. And right before we went out for the open heat races, the clouds were getting really, really dark. It started drizzling a little bit, and then it started to rain really bad. They had to hold the races off for a little bit, and then get to work the track back in. And I knew it was going to be really gripped up, like you're not going to want to lift. So I went out there and I seen how the track was. I was really nervous because I got to see the track before I went out. And I was just really nervous. And I get out there, and the leader, he kind of did what I wanted him to, because I knew the track wasn't going to be moved up like a normal heat race, because usually it's toward the top. I knew it wasn't going to be like that. So he'd got to jump on me, just a tiny jump. I followed him right behind him, and we took off from there. He was about a straightaway to like half a straightaway ahead of me the whole race. Like if he were to make a decent mistake, I could have been there on top of him and made a move. But he was really fast. I was gone. I was told I was like a straightaway ahead of 3rd place. Like the car, I didn't really lift at all. The track was just so fast. I put it where I wanted it. It was just really, really fast. I don't think I've ever seen Cycleland that fast before. It was really fun. So I finished 2nd, started 2nd, and then I put me about 12th, I think, for my main event. Everybody went to the A. All the cars went. So off the start, I did pretty good. I was making some moves off the start, moving up a little bit. I see that I'm usually really good on the starts. Like I can get the jump, but like it seems like once the race goes on, like I start making a little bit mistakes. So I like the frequent cautions sometimes, like last night, because the track did dry out pretty good from a little bit off the bottom to the middle, and then the top and 1 and 2 was super rough. 3 and 4 was decent, but like it was super rough if you put it in there wrong. Like you could have flipped. Like it was pretty ruddy. But so I started 12th, moved up a little bit, and I got caught up in 2 little accidents. And I thought my wing or something, I thought something was going to be bent. Like I got off the ground a little bit, it was wham! But everything was all good. We've continued on. I fell back to about where I started. And then somewhere in the race, like I got forced to the bottom a little bit on one of the restarts. I wanted to hit the bottom 1 and 2 and move up to the top in 3 and 4. But I couldn't get up there, and I got stuck on the bottom in 3 and 4. And I knew I didn't want to be down there because it was a lot drier than 1 and 2. And I got down there, and I was off the gas, but I just over-rotated and spun out a little bit. And then I killed the car. I don't know what it was. Like, I gave it gas, but, like, it died. Had to restart in the back. And then that was at the end of the race. So there was a couple... Everybody was trying to make maneuvers. There was some small crashes in front of me. Everybody kept going. I moved up and finished 9th, which is pretty good. Not a bad night for how many cars there were. So, all in all, a very good weekend.
I went 18th out of 26, and with Jim working on my engine, getting it all ready for us, we have pretty decent speed now down the straightaways. We just got to get the setup right. I made a couple driver errors, entering too low on the corner or not letting off soon enough. So if that didn't happen, I would have been able to gone a little bit faster. And my car was also overheating a little bit, so we were thinking that's also some of the lack of power because the temp gauge was maxed out again. So that set me up to start 4th in the heat race, and once again I start rated behind Blake and got a good start. Me and the 3rd place guy were battling for 3rd, and a couple laps into it he pulled away from me, and then my car started to hop really bad. We think we were just too low on tire pressures because before we went out for the heat race, we had a little bit of rain come in, and that delayed the race for a little bit, and they had to rework it. So with all the water on the track, it made it really hooked up. Like, it was not going to go dry slick for almost the whole night. And we just went out there, we tried our best, and we finished 4th. So we started 4th, finished 4th, and everybody made it to the A, so that put me like mid-pack starting the A. I think I started 18th, so the same spot where I qualified in. And then we were going, the high side was just super rough. Run the high side, you had to be really careful if the car started to hop, not to let it get into the wall. But eventually I got up to 12th, so I almost cracked the top 10, and then I made a bonehead move and spun out all on my own. And then started dead last, and I think I got almost back up to the top 10 again. And I spun out again, so that was 2 spins on me, so I had to pull in. So hopefully for the next race, points race number 6, we do a lot better. Now considering we actually have a fast car, we can get the setup down and hopefully be contender.
Christensen Automotive.
Hey guys, just getting ready to recap my night. We went out for qualifying. I pulled pill 24. I went out in group 3, and I went in and qualifying. It was okay. I messed up a couple times down the front stretch because it's not very seeable in the video, but down the front stretch the concrete wall stops and there's an opening for the exit gate. And I was up and the right rear was like almost up on the wall, and I ran out of front stretch as I started to go into the corner, and it dropped the right rear off, and it basically unloaded, and it wanted to do all sorts of weird stuff. So that was basically one of the only things that I messed up on in qualifying. And then in the heat race, I started second, did not get a good start. It just did not want to get off the corner on the restarts and starts. So that allowed the 8 car to gain a little bit, and then I just wasn't able to go run them down. So that set me up to start third in the main event. And went into turn 1. It was okay. I slid up. The 4 car got underneath me, and we made a little contact, and then I tried to drive back around him on the outside. Wait, no. I slid up off the bottom. As he started to come around me, I hit him, and then he crossed over, and then he hit me in my left front. And then he got the spot. Then I was sitting in 4th, and then tried to run the top. I just lifted and tried to run it like the bottom, and when I lifted, it just didn't want to really do anything. And then that allowed the 22K to get a big run on me, and I don't know if she wheelied or what, but all I seen was I was in the corner, and then half a second later I'm going in the wall. So then that put me to the back. Then just didn't do my job good enough to be aggressive and get back to the front, and just had an overall bad night in the main event. So got 1 week. We got Monday through Friday to regroup, to go back for points race 6 and make up the points and make more points that I left on the table for points race number 5. And we'll roll into race 6 looking for a win, top 5. I don't know anything better than last night's A main event. That's all I have to say. And I'd also like to thank my sponsors of ProtoFab and Christensen Automotive, Motor Source, John Michael Bunch for all the help he gave me, and just everybody who's helped me throughout my racing career and helped me get where I'm at today. That's all I have to say. Mom's Corner will be up next.
Welcome back to Mom's Corner. I'm Samantha Rauscher.
And I'm Kim Rauscher.
And we are coming off of Points Race 5. I missed last week, and Kim stayed home this week, so it's just alternating. It's just life, really. It's not like we're planning to alternate. It's just what happens sometimes. So.
Yep, had to work.
Yeah. So, let's see. The boys did really good. Brent unveiled a new car, and he did good. He just kind of, he gets to the main, as you guys see, and goes to the back, and he just doesn't fight hard enough, in that's at least Mom's opinion, about making the issue and getting back up there. Brent, unfortunately, point counts on the track and car counts, and so sometimes he's worried about the long-term goal instead of today's goal, and it's just a struggle that he and I have with each other, I guess. So
Yeah, and it was hard to see. Being at home and you're watching on Fast 4, you don't always get to see every accident.
Yeah.
I think they zoom in on Brent after the fact, so I didn't actually see the accident. I don't know. From what I heard, I guess he got kind of driven into. They were pretty hooked.
Yeah.
They were pretty hooked. So I don't know if he just didn't drive hard enough. I thought there was something wrong with the car myself at home, and I wasn't communicating with anyone. I was just like, oh, then I wonder if they did lock and something happened to his car. So I didn't know what happened to him. So the other two, they did a lot better this week. Both qualified really well. I think Blake was 12th and Evan was 15th or 18th. So they did really good. Their times were a lot better. Which is a big improvement. Evan's been qualifying at the bottom there while he was having the engine problems. So with that, he, hopefully we have that fixed. We wanted to get his cylinder re-sleeved, but he's got an older engine, so they could. And with COVID, I think there's a lot of things with engines and those kinds of things where you can't get the parts. It's really slowed things down. So our engine builder kind of fixed it up. He put a new, fitted it for a new piston and sent him on his way. So I know he's doing a lot better. So he had a little bit of an overheating issue at the beginning. They fixed that. Blake was on fire. He was doing really good. He was definitely making moves and contending for.
I felt like you could see Blake's confidence this week. Last week he was quick, but he wasn't sure if he could make the move. It's almost like he didn't trust the situation. This week, he was quick, and if he saw the hole, he went for it. And sometimes it paid off, and sometimes it didn't. But I felt like he went for it this week.
Yeah, he definitely, it looked like that as well for me. At least the engine stayed on the car. It's always a plus when that happens. So yeah, I think overall they did really well. Evan did not finish. His brakes, he said, went away. So he kind of ran out of room, had to jam on them, and then of course they locked. And then he did a second spin, so he did not finish. But I think Blake got 9th. Yeah. So he finished 9th for the night. Top 10, A main in the opens is, that's a good
big deal.
That is a good deal there.
After the racing, there were 2 open drivers that have been in opens for a long time, older drivers who came and kind of, in their way, congratulated Blake about, hey, we were up there beating wings and you were right there with us. And as an aunt, just kind of sitting back and hearing it, it was almost like their acceptance of him being up in that top bracket, in that competitive bracket, and it was kind of, cool to see, cool to hear. Blake, I think, was like, "Oh, why are you over here?" Kind of like
I didn't do anything.
I'll say it that way because he did not do anything that caused someone to come into the pit, but he did. He raced competitively, he raced clean, and he was aggressive when he needed to be. Some of those people who have been in it a long time, they push on the rookies because they know they can, right? Like they can make the issue with you because you'll just move. It seemed like Blake last night, he didn't. He sat in there, and if he felt like he had the car, he didn't lift for you, which is what we all want, I think.
Yeah, no, you want to see that growth and that, drive. We want to see them improve every week. So that's our goal. So, it's not always, hey, I want them to win, or I want them to, finish in this number. I just want to see an improvement every weekend, and it is a huge thing to have other drivers,
do that.
Come up and recognize you, that they see that you're doing well.
Yeah. So next up for us is, points race 6 at the track. I do know that Blake is taking the weekend off because he's going to prom.
Yeah, senior prom. So
they got it in, so that's cool.
Yeah, they did. Just the seniors at his school, so they're doing it in some barn out there in Loyalton. So, yeah, he's super excited. He's ready to kind of finish off his senior year.
And from Kim's Custom Tumblers' point of view, you have an event coming up next weekend.
Yes, the Goodwin's General Store in Chilkoot is having a craft fair, so I will be attending that. And I think it's from 9 to 2.
Yeah. Okay, so tune in every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on CSTV, Rauscher Racing's Facebook page, and Brent Rauscher Motorsports on YouTube.